ladies and gentlemen. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it.
Well, George W. Bush is who he is, who he has always been. He's an absolute corporate wet dream. Any fantasy that a CEO has can come true if you put money into Bush's political pocket. He is of, by and for, the corporate interest.
Volgens journaliste Alexandra Robbins ging de schitterende carrière van George W. Bush van start aan de Universiteit van Yale. Robbins is zelf een product van die Amerikaanse elite-universiteit en ze kreeg mensen aan de praat die tot dusver gezwegen hadden. Leden van Skull and Bones, de doodskoppen, geheim genootschap. Hun tempel en vergaderplaats, de zogenaamde tombe, lag op de campus zelf. Tot dit genootschap worden alleen een paar uitverkorenen toegelaten. Een van hen was George W. Bush.
The greatest secret of the tomb is that secret societies still exist in America. They still have power in America, and many Americans don't know about this. A secret society like Skull and Bones wields enormous influence over especially U.S. foreign policy. It used to be that only white males, white Protestant males who were wealthy and had respectable bloodlines from certain families were allowed into Skull and Bones. The Bushes, the Bundys, the Rockefellers, the Tafts. Now Skull and Bones seeks to select really the Yale University juniors whom the society expects will succeed in life, and in that sense follow properly in the footsteps of the illustrious roster of alumni who have already been through Skull and Bones and have proven themselves worthy of membership.
Yale is een van de gerenommeerde universiteiten waar de Amerikaanse elite zijn kinderen naartoe stuurt. Het geheime genootschap is er een elite binnen de elite. Een gemeenschap voor de rijken en de machtigen die ervan uitgaan dat wederzijds eigenbelang een garantie is voor succes. Alleen al de naam Bush deed de deuren opengaan voor de jonge George en hij kreeg toegang tot het netwerk van vriendschappen en relaties dat hem ook nu nog ondersteunt. Zijn vader was al in 1948 opgenomen in dit genootschap. Junior trad zo'n 20 jaar later in zijn voetsporen.
George W. Bush is probably the classic example of someone who has used the power of Skull and Bones in order to attain his own level of success. He has turned to Skull and Bones at every point during his career and professional life that he possibly could have. From his very first job out of college, which he got from a member of Skull and Bones. He's gotten money from Skull and Bones, power, connections, openings, and now that he's president, he's followed Skull and Bones' agenda, which is to bring up other members into positions of power. One of the first social gatherings he held at the White House after his inauguration was reportedly a gathering of his 1968 Skull and Bones classmates. Soon after that, he placed members of Skull and Bones in the Justice Department, in the Office of Homeland Security, as ambassadors in Europe, as the Secretary of Defense's representative to Europe.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
on.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look
Are
forward...
you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us. And we'll be right back.
Were you a member of Skull and Bones in college and Bush? Were you in the same secret society?
That's all right. Let me answer his question.
Excuse me, what are you writing? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is anybody watching me? I'm not frozen.
I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC News, and it is my sad duty to report this afternoon that my friend and colleague, Tim Russert, the moderator of Meet the Press and NBC's Washington bureau chief, collapsed and died early this afternoon while at work at the NBC News Bureau in Washington. Tim had just returned from a family trip to
Don't taste me, bro! Don't taste me! I can't do it! Ow!
Sitting here, to be honest.
Did y'all hear what he asked John Kerry to get himself tasered? Did you hear the question? You didn't hear the question? He was like, is it not true, Senator Kerry, that you are a member of Skull and Crossbones, a secret society with George Bush? And Kerry was like, that's a very good question.
Answer his question.
Excuse me, what are you writing?
And I'm going to answer that question.
Also, were you a member of Skull and Bones from college and Bush? Were you in the same secret society as Bush? Were you in Skull and Bones? Also, were you a member of Skull and Bones from college and Bush? Were you in the same secret society as Bush? Were you in Skull and Bones? Thank you for cutting my mic. Thank you. Are you going to arrest me? Excuse me. Excuse me. What are you arresting me for? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is anybody watching this? I'm not doing this. I want you to...
General Albert Pike was born in December of 1809. He was exceptionally bright and allegedly accepted into Harvard, although he didn't have the money to attend. Today, Pike is remembered as a pioneer in the early courts of Arkansas, a Confederate officer during the Civil War, and a central figure in the development of Freemasonry. He's still the only Confederate officer with a statue in Washington, D.C. History is divided on Pike. He's been called a genius, a villain, and an occultist. But that's not all there is to this story. Some people believe Albert Pike was more than just a lawyer and a general. Much, much more. Here's where it gets crazy. Depending on who you ask, Albert Pike may have been the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, a Satan worshipper, or even the king of the Freemasons. In The Unseen Hand, A. Ralph Epperson argues that a great deal of historical events have been planned in advance. Epperson believed that Albert Pike was at the center of this conspiracy and the highest-ranking Mason in the United States, or possibly the world. Pike is also accused of being a member of the Illuminati and a harbinger of a coming new world order. Masons have destroyed most of the records proving Pike's involvement in sinister affairs. However, one claim takes attention over all the others. In 1871, Pike allegedly sent a letter to an Italian political activist named Giuseppe Mazzini, in which he describes a curious dream about 3 world wars. In this letter, Pike apparently outlined specific events leading up to World Wars I and II. Additionally, Pike pushed for the organization of communism, Nazism, Zionism, and other international movements as tools to escalate these conflicts. According to this letter, the Illuminati will provoke a third world war by creating religious conflicts in the Middle East. After this war is ended, the letter claims that nihilists and atheists will create bloody turmoil, leading the